In today's service, I'm going to teach you how to not feel energetically drained. Especially in this new generation, this time where wars are present, where people are constantly in density, where companies is fighting to bring forth more pains and hurts to the consumers, where your family is essentially spreading apart. Not a lot of family reunions anymore, not a lot of getting together. It's a very separated time. And the reason why the times are so separated is because the choices that people have made are now being thrown back in their face. You've made your bed, now lay in it. That's the theme of this generation. You've made your bed, now lay in it. Peace unto you. My name is Nadiie, and today is all about how to not feel energetically drained. At a foundation, what you must anchor to not feel energetically drained is to shift your perception on what being energetically drained is. So you are God's will embodied. How can a being that is God's will, God as in abundant, God as in limitless, how can that type of being ever feel drained? You have to be the one to subscribe to an ideology or belief system to feel like you even have the capability to be drained. Now you must reprogram your mind and how you think. That actually kind of makes sense. If I'm God's will and God is literally limitless, how can I not be limitless? Shift your perspective on that. The first step you can do in shifting your perspective is simply release yourself from this world. Stop calling walls, hair, couches. Slowly introduce removing yourself from descriptions, because descriptions are very closely related to expectation. The goal here is to release yourself from expectation, but a side way in releasing yourself from expectations is to remove yourself from descriptions. When you see something, don't immediately be like, oh, this is what that is, or this is what that is, or this is what this means. Just be like, Are you able to just be present and say, whatever I'm looking at it. I'm going to move on with my life. If it serves, it shall be present in my life. If it doesn't, it shall whisper away. That is step one. Because you're not feeling so bound to this planet. Masters would say, I am in the world, not of the world. Basically, that means, listen, the world is not so how can I be of illusion? I understand God is of love. So that is what I'm going to base my reality on, love, because that is God. Anything that brings something forth that isn't of love, I know that is not of God, because God is love. That's why when people will be like, oh, Satan is real, and this being is real, and this hate is real, and all of this is real, it's not real. It's only as powerful as you make it. Do you not realize how powerful you are? If God is literally only love, how can something other than love exist? Oh, God is judgmental. God is not judgmental. This is all a part of not feeling energetically drained, because you have to realize what God actually is. Because you have to connect to that. That's what's going to bring forth your revitalization, connecting to Source, A.K.A. God. But you have to know what it is. You have to know Source is not like a being with a pitchfork always trying to judge someone. A being that is like, ooh, you're not good enough. God will never say you're not good enough. Only we say that. Only we project that onto God. God is of love. God will just say, come home. And your coming home realizes and brings forth remembrances that you are already home. You haven't left. You just think you have. And when you start to remember, okay, God is love. Because of that, I'm going to only embrace love. I'm going to see through the eyes of God, for this is a divine law. What you see is what you are. That's going to shift your entire perspective. What you see is what you are. If you see pains in the world, then you are manifesting, or you are someone who is perpetuating that type of pain, because you're still subscribing to it. See, when marches in the 60s would happen, these beings did not fear death. They would walk towards police officers with guns aimed at them. And a lot of the time, I remember there's a story about Dick Gregory when he said these beings saw the face of God when we was walking down, because we said we was willing to die that night for our freedoms. He was not going to stop us. When you have that, what people call conviction, that what we call knowingness of the truth, I don't care how powerful or evil you think a being is, they will move out the way because God is present. They know the truth. They found out the trick. They got the cheat code. Operate purely off of love, for that is God. Damn, we tried to trick them to believe into hate. We tried to trick them into believe into ego. Now they don't anymore. They said, we don't care about this world. We're going to move forth towards our freedoms. Boom. You're not energetically drained anymore. Boom. You're not energetically drained anymore. Boom. You have now embraced that which is abundance in all forms, all ways. Another way you can shift your entire existence to not feeling energetically drained is simply stop enabling. This goes into psychology. Psychology will even tell you this, as above, so below. Psychology will tell you stop enabling people that is of toxicity, and you will experience less toxicity in your life. Stop watching videos that are ratchet. Stop watching fighting videos. Stop watching things that basically harbor on trauma. Stop feeding energetic leeches by keeping them in your space. You know, stop watching and accepting monitoring spirits, as they say. All of this plays a part in enabling. You know, if you're in a relationship, oh, but I love her, or she looks pretty. He looks handsome. I can't leave him. Oh, our sex drive is high. Like, I love that. So physical pleasures are what's keeping you from experiencing that which is God's abundance. Are you telling me that is the obstacle? Truly, that's the obstacle? No, that's not an obstacle. Remove yourself from these toxic people. I don't care if it's your mama. I don't care who it is. I don't care if y'all been in a relationship for 30 plus years. Y'all have to understand that there is no such thing as failure. You must truly implement this. There is no such thing as failure. Something serves until it no longer serves. When it no longer serves, it does not mean it failed, because you gained X amount of lessons from that situation. Because you have one hardship, does that mean it negates the 100 plus experiences of bliss you experience with this type of person or a situation? No. When it's time to leave a job, leave. When the job gets stressful, leave. When the person gets stressful, leave. But there's a caveat. Understand that you must not operate purely out of your ego, because your ego will tell you leave a good situation. Your ego will say you don't need to experience, any type of hierarchy. You are God's will. See, your ego will manipulate you and evolve. If it knows that you're experiencing God's will, if it knows you are someone who is operating purely out of spirituality, it will evolve in such a way to use the terminology of these spirit-based beings. You are God's will embodied, boy. Girl, you're God's will embodied. You don't need to experience hierarchy, man. F that boss. Quit. Knowing dang well that job is paying you more than your entire family combined. Why would you quit? Because your ego told you to? God didn't say that. God is saying, no, don't quit. Don't quit. Sometimes you get in your own way. Sometimes I get in my own way. Sometimes we get in our own way. But it's only us. Life is happening for you, not to you. I promise you, there is something that will bring forth service in any form of your existence. Because you are that favored, you are that powerful, you are that loved. This is what's going to guide you to not feeling energetically drained, removing yourself from enabling. Only operate purely out of love. The last thing is simply know the truth. I say you are God's will embodied, but when's the last time you've ever said, I'm grateful that I exist? Say that now. Right now. I'm grateful that I exist. Right now. Don't say I'm going to do it later. There ain't no later. Do it right now. You might die later. You might transcend later. Something might happen to where your entire focus goes away from this. Say I'm grateful for my existence. Mean it. You're here. Others didn't make it. Be grateful that you... Do you realize that many people did not make it? And you did. You should be grateful just for that. If you're interested in booking a one-on-one session with me, click the link in the bio. And if you're interested in joining our mystery school, DM me first and I'll give you our 3-day course for free. Because if you aren't willing to integrate at least 3 days with God, why are you trying to join the mystery school? With that, we say welcome home.